Hi, everybody, and welcome to our presentation today. My name is Catherine Gibb. I'm a program manager with Services and Housing in the province located in Mississauga. I'm here with Earl Phillips, who's a financial support worker and trustee with several of our programs, and we're going to speak to you today about the positive impacts of financial literacy and trusteeship support as a part of Housing First programs. We'd like to begin with a land acknowledgement. Acknowledging the land on which we gather and in which Services and Housing in the province operates, being the region of Peel. It's part of the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit. For thousands of years, Indigenous peoples inhabited and cared for this land. In particular, we acknowledge the territory of the Anishinaabe, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Ojibwe Chippewa peoples, the land that is home to the Métis, and most recently, the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, who are direct descendants of the Mississaugas of the Credit. We're grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land, and by doing so, give our respect to its first inhabitants. So in our presentation today, we have several learning outcomes. We want to review the components, development, and outcomes of the financial support worker model that we offer within our organization. We want to understand how the financial literacy program framework can be adapted for Housing First program populations, be it youth, individuals, or families, how this philosophy can be integrated into care planning, and offer some strategies on engaging in finance-related goal planning as a part of a multidisciplinary team. We also want to take a look at how the Housing First program philosophy, being a voluntary service component, looks contrasted with those traditional public guardian trustee programs that many of our program participants may have experienced in the past. So our agenda for today will be just a brief overview of SHIP and who we are, provide some program context on how the FSW program has evolved over time, some of the theory and program components that underlie the approach, and touch on some successes and suggestions around evaluation and recommendations. So we'll start with who we are, Services and Housing in the province, commonly known as SHIP. So we primarily serve a community of Peel, Dufferin, and West Toronto. We have been in existence for over 30 years. We really look to identify gaps and directly address those needs in our community. And of course, we also like to focus on housing for those that have experienced mental health and addictions issues or challenges. And that's the core of the work that we do, our mission and our values. So about SHIP, we serve over 3,000 individuals. We have supportive core housing programs where we house over 1,000 of those individuals. We partner with over 60 different landlords and own and operate 8 capital buildings. We have significant wait lists for our service. There's quite a demand in our area. And we're a fairly large organization. We have over 400 staff. Our strategic aims really focus on these 3 core focuses around enhancing service and housing capacity, maximizing engagement with our staff and our clients and our other stakeholders, as well as building on our provincial leadership. So we do take a provincial approach in the way that we develop and create new programs as well. So for a specific program context around financial support work, we start with how we had identified challenges within some of our core supportive housing programs. We know that individuals that reside in supportive housing programs often are supported through public guardian trustee. And again, with that approach, essentially the OPGT would be making financial decisions on individuals' behalf. We did identify that there were gaps there. There may be individuals that require a level of trusteeship or financial support, but not necessarily to the point where they would need involvement with the OPGT office. So we looked to solutions as to how we could create something within our organization for day-to-day supports, just to enhance quality of life for the individuals living in our housing. So from there, we created some solutions around some supports within our core programs. And we also looked to the future as we developed into Housing First frameworks, how we could build on that. So within our first few Housing First programs, being the Housing in Place or HIP team, our Peel Youth Village transitional program that created a one-year follow-up program, and our Home for Good Housing First collaborative, we looked as we built these programs as to how we could create a trusteeship or financial literacy component within our multidisciplinary teams. There were common outcomes, of course, with our Housing First focused programs around safe, affordable, and secure housing, accessing to employment, training, or education, increasing physical, mental, and spiritual health, and the community and social inclusion. And we recognize there's a theme there around financial stability, and we wanted to ensure that within our support components, there was a pathway into those financial literacy goals that individuals might identify. So now I'm going to transition over to Earl Phillips, a member of the financial support worker team, to talk a little bit more about the philosophy, the theory, and the components of what a financial support worker looks like at SHIP.
Thank you so much, Catherine. So our philosophy was around that all people should have the opportunity to make the choices that allow them to live a long, healthy life, regardless of their income, education, or ethnic background. Within the housing field, we recognize the interplay between various life components known as social determinants of health. These include factors like socioeconomic factors, such as education, job status, family or social support, community safety, and of course, income. Also, the physical environment, the environment that the person finds themselves in, health behaviors and biology, those behaviors such as smoking, diet and exercise, alcohol and drug use, and sexual activity, as well as access to healthcare. And when we look at these factors, we'll notice that almost 40% are taken up in the socioeconomic factors, including income. And these contribute to the person's overall health. Poor health and health inequalities impact both and other areas of life, such as employment, childcare, etc. They say money makes the world go round, and that's from the musical Cabaret. And for many of us, it drives our decisions and our quality of life. The media personality Snoop Dogg once remarked, "My mind on my money and my money on my mind." And for many of us, we worry about money, finances, and financial responsibilities that are omnipresent in our thoughts. This is Dr. Thomas Richardson, a clinical psychologist in England, and he did a study on the impact of financial stress. He noticed that for individuals who are constantly worrying about finances, they reported being in a brain fog, a dark place, and unable to tackle the problem. He also found that the key considerations regarding the impact of financial stress were how in control they felt, how hopeful they felt, and how much worrying they were doing. In this model, we can see that financial stress and worry can impact mental health, which can lead to poorer financial decision-making, which then can lead to further financial stress and worry, thus leading to a compounding conundrum. To put it simply, financial stress can adversely affect an individual's physical and mental health. Another stressor is the access or lack thereof to mainstream financial services. Many people face financial system barriers, which could include whether they have the ability to open a bank account with low or no fees, access to loans and other financial products with low interest. Poor credit scores can negatively impact them in many other ways, such as housing applications. Without support, many individuals find themselves excluded from traditional financial options and have to navigate alternatives such as predatory lenders like Money Mart. In this financial exclusion diagram, we can see the wheel of the potential interplay between financial exclusion and the ability to maintain housing. We can see just on the right, increased risk of social, economic, and financial exclusion can lead to increased barriers to stable housing, which could lead to housing loss, which then could increase the limited ability to utilize existing bank accounts, and increases limited ability to open new bank accounts or access new products, and continues on to impaired ability to manage day-to-day financial affairs. Now, when we were looking at financial literacy, we'd like this definition: the ability to make informed financial judgments and effectively manage one's own money. Financial literacy also includes the financial knowledge and understanding, financial skills and competence, and financial responsibility. This ultimately leads to one of our core concepts, a philosophical shift that was needed. It has been clear to us that a lack of financial literacy negatively impacts our clients' health and wellness. And so we come to our program goals. Although each of our aforementioned Housing First programs, Housing in Place, Peel Youth Village, and Homes for Good, are unique in approach, they offer a similar financial literacy framework, which includes the following 5 goals. 1, assist clients in managing their finances confidently. 2, educate and empower clients regarding money management. 3, promote financial independence and self-efficacy. And 4, improve health outcomes and quality of life. And last but not least, and certainly probably the most important, ensure housing stability. Our program components were centered around the idea of client choice, client voice. We offer a flexible and not judgmental approach to financial literacy counseling and support. And one of the key components is that it is voluntary in nature. Clients can willingly and actively participate in working towards financial goals, and clients can choose to enter and exit the program at any time. We look and offer client-directed and customized financial support case plans. Now, these case plans can vary in length and intensity, and they're customized to our client's specific expressed needs. We seek to empower through psychoeducational teachings, some which may not have been received from their family of origin. Others may be adjusting to a change in their socioeconomic status and require less support to stabilize financially. We also offer the opportunity to access additional income. And this can be in advocacy. This can also be in ways that we assist in trying to find other opportunities, such as government benefits that they may not have been eligible for, especially some of those that need to be unlocked when tax preparation is done. We also help with part-time or full-time employment searches and also with connection to other resources. We offer the honest budget with clients to manage their expenses on limited incomes. This can take the form of budgeting assistance, helping them learn about price matching for groceries, shopping, sometimes accompaniment, as well as practical approaches to managing day-to-day finances, e.g. grocery shopping on a budget. In the next slide, we see an example from OrCode, the Honest Monthly Budget, which helps us with clients to get a truer representation of a client's wants and needs. We also offer voluntary savings plans with realistic targets that are client-directed. Another thing that we offer is the ability to explore options for debt management and repayment. Some of our clients have reported feeling very alone, sometimes even drowning in their debt. Debt management and repayment options will also include helping clients look at options such as debt consolidation, consumer proposals, or bankruptcy. We also offer voluntary trusteeship based on the client's goals. Some of these services include full trusteeship, where we receive the client's income and in conjunction with their agreed upon budget, will bring the client weekly cash allowances. This service can also include partial trusteeship of their funds, such as just their transit funds or something like that. We also offer monthly bill payments where we can assist clients by paying their bills. Another element of our program is developing credit rebuilding action plans. We provide assistance and support with clients getting their credit report and credit scores, and work together on a plan to raise a credit score if so desired by the client. We also provide accompaniment to credit counseling and banking appointments as needed. Another element is financial literacy workshops. We develop and facilitate these workshops for clients and the support workers, ultimately building capacity. These were formerly done offline prior to the pandemic, but now we've also incorporated online versions during the pandemic. We also promote financial literacy as a social determinant of health within our agency and community. We also offer advocacy with income support groups should clients have difficulty. An example like Ontario Works. Making connections to programs for low-income individuals, such as affordable transit programs and grants, is something that we can offer. We also offer partnership, serving as a partner on their client care team and coordinating service partnerships with their entire case care workers and their team. Ultimately, we want to work with clients on their client-directed recovery goals. One of the things that I always smile at is that it's choice-based, it's flexible, and it's fluid. The plans we are working on today could look very different in the future. Sometimes when we work with clients, I have to remind them that we are financial support workers and not financial advisors. What we don't do is tell clients how to spend their money or prepare tax returns. Rather, we support clients with how they choose to spend their money and assist with connections in the community and with our partner agencies to provide more specific services that we do not cover, such as tax preparation or enhanced employment linkages. Outcomes. Now here is a picture of the boxer Muhammad Ali. And he once said, "Wars of nations are fought to change maps. But wars of poverty, they're fought to map change." And it's in that spirit of mapping change that we present just a few anecdotes of the financial support program. This is a client who was able to save up enough money to purchase a new bedroom set and pay for her husband to have a medical procedure done. When the client found out after all the spending that she still had over $1,000 in a savings account, she was overjoyed and said there was no way she would have been able to do this without the program to help her, and that she's so glad she decided to join. Another client, AJ, was able to pay off just under $3,000 in arrear payments while on the FSW program, putting him back in good standing with the region of Peel. And one of our senior clients, FW, prior to joining the financial support program, used to have her money managed by her sister. This was causing stress in their relationship. Once the financial support program took over her money management, this client was able to start rebuilding a positive relationship with her sister. And now what is next? I will turn this over to Catherine to take us further.
Thanks, Earl, for that excellent overview of the program and all the great work that your team does. So the question now is, what's next? Recognizing where we've come and what we've identified as needs throughout our program, where do we take it from here? We're looking at continued program development, and this is where we wanted to bring it to the conference on, a suggestion of a great component of a Housing First program. We're looking at how we can expand the program within our organization and bring on additional financial support workers. And also looking at an evaluation framework for the program. Again, that's been put on a bit of a pause, like many other things through COVID, but looking at how we can evaluate and critically look at the program and the outcomes that we've achieved. So we've looked at potential evaluation questions around the effectiveness of the role within our multidisciplinary teams, around improving quality of life and the impact that the program has on participants' housing stability, and how we can promote the value of financial literacy within stakeholder groups. We've looked at objectives around identifying the barriers and enablers, and forming plans on how we can streamline our various Housing First programs into one team. And we've done that successfully over the past little while. And then also identifying and prioritizing the needs and priorities from the perspective of the individuals that are using the program in the continued development of resources. So we've identified some anticipated outcomes through some initial formulation of a theory of change for the program, as you can see here, around short-term, mid-term, and long-term outcomes. And we look forward to opportunities to formally evaluate the program. So in conclusion, there is hope, and we're empowered by that. And we hope that we empower the individuals that are part of the program. Financial literacy is a social determinant of health, and it should be incorporated more wholesomely into holistic care planning with individuals and families. We really do believe that improved financial literacy and access to these supports will lead to improved housing and health outcomes. So we want to thank you for joining us today. We encourage you to check out our website and reach out to Earl or I if you have questions about how we could potentially share with you information if you're interested in developing a similar program. We also want to share some resources that we've gathered around the theory of it. So there's a few suggestions here. And again, if you do have questions, we welcome you to throw them out there at the Q&A, and also reach out to us after the conference or presentation, and we can share what we've learned further with you. So again, thank you very much for your time.